It can't be denied that Resident Evil is the godfather of the survival horror genre. Whether you are joining the Resident Evil series right now, or have been a fan for years and just want a refresher, this video is for you. I know there are a lot of side stories, minor characters, and non-canon scenarios that play out in the game, but we're gonna focus on the major characters and the main story. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen, Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and Code Veronica in a nutshell. Resident Evil 1. On July 24th, 1998, when a series of bizarre murders occur on the outskirts of the midwestern town of Raccoon City, the Raccoon City Police Department's STARS team are assigned to investigate. After contact with Bravo Team is lost, Alpha Team is sent to investigate their disappearance. Operating under Alpha Team are none other than Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, and Albert Wesker. Sound familiar? Alpha Team lands at the site and discover Bravo Team's crashed helicopter, but are quickly attacked by a pair of monstrous dogs and are chased to a nearby mansion. The player explores the mansion, encountering zombies and mutated animals along the way, only to discover that 1. The mansion has an underground lab that was being used to conduct illegal experiments under the direction of the biomedical company, the Umbrella Corporation. 2. The mutations they have encountered are the result of an outbreak of a biological agent known as the T-Virus. And 3. Albert Wesker is a two-time and double agent working for the Umbrella Corporation and is planning on using a giant humanoid creature known as the Tyrant to kill the remaining STARS members. There are several different endings to this game, but mainly the player defeats the Tyrant, destroys the lab, and escapes the mansion. No matter the ending, here is what comes out of Resident Evil 1. Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, and Albert Wesker all survive, since they are in later games. The T-Virus is now loose and has started to infect Raccoon City, and the Umbrella Corporation is all to blame. The end. Resident Evil 2. 2 months after the events of Resident Evil 1, Leon Scott Kennedy and Claire Redfield meet each other for the first time in Raccoon City, only to find it overrun with zombies. Leon is there because it's his first day on the job as a police officer, poor guy, and Claire is there looking for her brother Chris Redfield. After a spooky police car accident, they get separated and start wandering the city. While entering the roof of the Raccoon City police station, Leon notices a helicopter drop a large capsule containing a huge trench-coated man. This is another Tyrant, which is a new and improved form from the Tyrant of the first Resident Evil. Leon encounters this new Tyrant in the police station and escapes. On Claire's side, she also makes it into the police department, where she encounters a Licker, the first time we see one in the Resident Evil series. After speaking to an injured police officer and finding some reports submitted by none other than her brother Chris, she discovers that the Raccoon City Police Department's police chief was bribed by the Umbrella Corporation to cover up the mansion incident and even sabotage the police department. Meanwhile, Leon also finds something from Chris, a journal, detailing that the Umbrella Corporation is behind all of the zombies and mutated animals in the city, and are developing a new virus called the G-Virus. Chris also mentions in this journal that he is investigating Umbrella's European headquarters. Claire and Leon rescue a little girl named Sherry, who turns out to be the daughter of a pair of researchers who created the G-Virus. Sherry tells Claire that there is something large and scary chasing her. Meanwhile, while looking for an escape vehicle in a parking garage, Leon is shot at by a woman who turns out to be Ada Wong. Ada claims she is looking for her boyfriend who works for Umbrella. Claire runs into a woman in the sewers who turns out to be Annette Birkin, one of the researchers who made the G-Virus. She explains to Claire that when her husband completed the G-Virus, the Umbrella Corporation sent their private military to their lab to steal it. Her husband, William Birkin, was fatally shot in the confrontation and injected himself with the G-Virus to survive. He turned into a monster, killed the Umbrella soldiers, and destroyed the G-Virus samples. Sewer rats came across the destroyed samples, became carriers of the G-Virus, and spread it throughout the city, resulting in the Raccoon City zombie apocalypse. In any case, William is now a walking abomination chasing his own daughter. After taking a bullet for Ada, Leon finds out that she is actually an Umbrella spy, sent to steal the G-Virus. It's okay though, since Ada and Leon fall in love by the end of the game. Anyways, you battle the Tyrant and William Birkin before escaping from the sewers on a train. The end. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. The story of Resident Evil Nemesis is shorter than the previous 2 installments, as it was originally meant to be a side shoot off the main series, but turned into a major installment because of high demand for another Resident Evil game. Anywho's, taking place around the same time as the events of Resident Evil 2, in Resident Evil 3 you play as Jill Valentine, who is trying to escape the city after living through the mansion incident in Resident Evil 1. The Raccoon City Police and Umbrella's private military are all trying to contain the zombie outbreak, but their efforts are futile and the city succumbs to the infection and is overrun. While searching for a way out of the city, Jill encounters the Nemesis, which is later revealed to be a type of tyrant who has been ordered to kill all STARS members to prove its effectiveness. Jill also runs into some Umbrella mercenaries, and they start working together to escape Raccoon City. It is later discovered that these mercenaries have a secret employer who is paying them to observe the combat effectiveness of the outbreak. It is also revealed through documents and NPC interactions that the army plans to level Raccoon City with a missile strike to contain the infection. Before this can happen though, Jill defeats the Nemesis and escapes the city via helicopter. The game ends with Jill stating that she plans on taking Umbrella down. And then the city goes kaboom, the end. Resident Evil Code Veronica. Resident Evil Code Veronica takes place 3 months after the events of Resident Evil 2 and 3. It features Claire Redfield, who is looking for her brother Chris after surviving the events of Resident Evil 2. Claire infiltrates an Umbrella facility in Paris, only to get captured by the Umbrella military and is taken to a prison on the remote Rockford Island. When a random airstrike hits the facility, the commander in charge releases Claire and she ventures out into the island. Out there, she encounters zombies and abominations, and runs into another inmate named Steve, who says he is looking for an airport on the island to escape, and he soon part ways with Claire. Claire finds a terminal with access to the outside world, and is able to send word to Leon Scott Kennedy to tell her brother Chris of the situation and hopefully to come rescue her. Continuing her exploration of the island, Claire stumbles across a large mansion, which is occupied by the twins Alfred and Alexia Ashford, descendants of one of the T-Virus's founders. Through found documentation and encounters with the twins, you learn that A. they are crazy, B. they want to kill you, and C. they have an unhealthy obsession with insects. It is also revealed that Steve is on the island because his daddy was a scientist, working for the Umbrella Corporation and selling company secrets. Umbrella then killed Steve's mom and imprisoned Steve and his father on the island. Later on, Steve's dad turns into a zombie and Steve is forced to shoot him. What a tragedy. While looking for a way off the island, Claire encounters Albert Wesker, the Alpha Team captain from Resident Evil 1. Wesker is responsible for the air raid on the island, and is really butthurt that Chris Redfield ruined his plans to kill everyone back in Resident Evil 1. For some reason, Wesker has superhuman abilities and red eyes. After a brief confrontation, Wesker retreats. We later find out that Alfred has a pretty bad identity crisis, and has been parading around as himself and his sister Alexia this entire time. The twins are one and the same. Alfred triggers a self-destruct of the island and releases a new and improved tyrant. This tyrant is defeated, and Claire and Steve escape via the plane from the airport. But alas, Alfred locks the plane into autopilot, and the plane crashes into a facility in the Antarctic. Alfred finds them at this new facility and attacks Claire and Steve again, but is mortally wounded and falls over a cliff. Later on, he releases a woman from a cryogenic chamber, who is none other than the real Alexia. Holy crap. Claire and Steve try to escape to a nearby Australian base, but Alexia sends out a huge tentacle and destroys their vehicle. Meanwhile, Chris Redfield has received Claire's message and makes his way to Rockford Island. He meets the Umbrella officer who helped Claire escape and is told that he should escape too. Before he can leave the island, however, he is confronted by Albert Wesker, who reveals that he is on a mission to capture Alexia. Wesker mentions that Alexia and Claire are in the Antarctic facility, and then kicks Chris's ass. He doesn't kill him though, so Chris escapes and heads to the Antarctic facility. While in the facility, Chris discovers that Alfred and Alexia are clones, made from the DNA of Veronica Ashford, the founder of the Ashford family. The twins developed a new virus strain called the T-Veronica virus, made from the progenitor virus and queen ant DNA. The aim was to create a T-virus strain that allowed the host to maintain their sentience. Alexia was injected with the virus, but in order for the virus to successfully assimilate into her body, she had to be cryogenically frozen for several years. Chris finds Claire and saves her from a nasty yellow cocoon, and they decide to go rescue Steve. They run into Alexia, who attacks them, and thus they get separated. They hear Steve cry out in pain, so Claire goes to rescue him. Claire finds Steve, only to learn that Alexia has injected him with the T-Veronica virus. He mutates into a huge monster and attacks Claire with an axe. While escaping, Claire is captured by one of Alexia's tentacles, and as Steve is about to kill her, he regains control of himself and chops off the tentacle. The tentacle then stabs Steve, he confesses his love for Claire, and then he dies. Meanwhile, Wesker confronts Alexia and is like, "You're coming with me." She's all like, "Nuh-uh," and then proceeds to transform and kick his ass. Chris, for some reason, makes an appearance, Wesker retreats, and Alexia attacks Chris, who stuns her long enough to escape. Chris finds Claire, who tells him that the facility has a self-destruct sequence, which when activated unlocks all the doors. They trigger the self-destruct sequence and then go to escape, only to be confronted by Alexia once again. Alexia transforms into a weird lady moth and is shot by a specialized rocket launcher and explodes. They are now free to escape, but Chris and Claire run into Wesker. Again. Wesker tells Chris that now he's really butthurt that Chris spoiled his plans to capture Alexia, but now he has Steve's body, which has the T-Veronica virus inside of it. Wesker tries to kill Chris, but thanks to a convenient explosion, Wesker is injured and decides to retreat. Chris and Claire escape via jet, the facility explodes, and they say once again that they want to take down Umbrella. The end. And there you go. Friends, thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it worthy of your time, please leave a like and subscribe. Have a great day, and goodbye.